Hey, what's up, Next Level crew? Welcome back to another episode of What's Your Next. And today we have a topic that pretty much everybody's talking about, and that is AI.
Welcome to What's Your Next. This is the go-to podcast for aspiring business owners who want to get to the next level, escape the rat race, and give their middle finger to the corporate 9-to-5. If you want financial freedom, work-life balance, and the business of your dreams, you're in the right place. Dave and Stacy Riska, husband-wife franchising duo, openly share their successes, failures, and lessons learned in franchising, business ownership, and working with your spouse.
Really, what we're going to be looking at is taking a deep dive into how many people are starting to use AI to research franchises. And we want to talk about some of the ins, some of the outs, some of the do's, and some of the don'ts. And how we're going to do that is interesting. We're going to actually take a candidate scenario where we build out a candidate profile, and we're going to drop the profile into both Gemini and ChatGPT and see what the recommendations come back as and talk about those and really see if AI produces any value whatsoever for helping people evaluate franchising. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and switch on my screen here, and we're going to start with Gemini on this particular journey through AI. So before we actually get the results back from the different AI models, we're going to start off by going through what the profile that was used for this particular experiment. So the profile was a male, 52 years old, the VP of operations, been in his role for 7 years. He's seeing the writing on the wall about impending layoffs, concerned about the AI impact, been talking to his wife about making a change or leaving the corporate world. Kids are older and out of the house, likes to travel, play golf, hang out with the dogs, has $35K cash available, has equity in his home, has retirement funds, has good credits, and here's his friend talk about business. Here's his friends talk about businesses they own, which have gotten him curious about owning one as his next. So we're going to go now and we're going to drop that particular profile into Gemini. So bingo, we got a 40-page summary here. So basically, we dropped the profile in there, and it tells us it's an excellent profile for a franchise candidate. So what do you think about that, Stacy? Is that an excellent candidate for a franchise?
My experience with AI is everything is positive. It's all rainbows, unicorns, and sunshine.
And it says he has operational capital, experience, and a strong fit for an executive or semi-absentee business model. So interesting, right? And then it goes on and it starts into it looks like a little bit of a summary here of the types of franchises that might be a good fit for this candidate. Commercial cleaning, janitorial, or facility services.
Like, how could AI know that?
And it does match. It matches it to his financial liquidity and requirements. Mm-hmm. So it definitely looks like it does take that into account. And we'll dive deeper into this in a bit, and we'll give some take on this. And so it seems to like service businesses, to avoid AI disruption. So it wants to avoid itself. And it says operations and semi-absentee. His VP of operations experience is directly applicable to managing managers, setting standards, ensuring quality control, and handling B2B sales and accounts. So this puts him in a CEO role. So let's go ahead and start. Oh, the first one I see is it's actually just doing franchise types in this model in the beginning. So the first one was commercial cleaning. The second one is golf simulation and entertainment center. Oh, interesting. So this actually doesn't give you one recommendation in this return. It gives you several. It says Stratus Building Solutions, Citywide Facility Solutions are similar, where golf, it gives you the Golf Crypt X Golf.
It's giving you 5 categories of franchises,
Right.
not 5 specific franchises.
Right, but it's giving you franchises within the 5 categories. It's giving you, so B2B consultant coaching franchise. This one comes on this one, the alternative board, right? Sounds familiar. And, the particular reasons why it does that. Home-based essential service franchise businesses, pet waste removal, pet services. Not surprising at all there. Duty calls, pet waste management, and woofies. And then financial and tax preparation franchises. So that would be your H&R Block, your Pageant Business Services. So it does, and then it goes to summarize some of the key considerations for the candidate, liquidity, the executive model, and a little bit about the FDD, franchise disclosure document. But it really doesn't dive all that deep, and it does ask additional questions at the end if you want to dive deeper into that. So I see some issues with the Gemini responses. We'll come back to this in a little bit, but I want to go over to ChatGPT. Yeah, it's kind of starting in with the same thing, a little bit about leadership background, wants lifestyle and flexibility, fears corporate instability, talks a little bit about his financial position, and then some strategic fits, not just popular franchises, which we would always agree with. Leverage your prior operations, semi-absentee, scalable model, time freedom versus trading one job for another, a service that is not easily replaced by AI. Interesting. Both of them came back with recommendations where they are afraid of themselves. It's afraid of AI. Something that builds equity, not another paycheck. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that I didn't see that in the other one. And then it actually gives top 5 franchise matches rather than giving categories and then a couple franchises within each category. It comes back and literally lists top 5 franchises, top rail fence, and it explains why and ties in with the lifestyle and financial requirements, the patch boys, drywall repair, home services type of both of these are home services. And then conservative irrigation, home services again, right? It seems to really like home services as being AI repellent. Predictable recurring service, and then Dogtopia, which would be pet services. We always like pet services. And he likes dogs, so, right? Interesting fit. And then Zoom Drain or trenchless or plumbing adjacent services. So it gives 5, decent recommendations here. Not really a deep dive so much into, what it used to really dig deep into the criteria to give these recommendations. It definitely specifically built them based on its own strategic fits here, based on these 5 things that it came up with, including itself being replaced by AI. That's super interesting. And then it gives you, oh, cool, a quick comparison. Okay, this is interesting, where they just lay out the 5, and it gives you, against the 5 criteria that they have, work type, lifestyle, AI-proof, semi-absentee, and exit equity. That's an interesting one. I did not see anything from Gemini at all in the results about exit equity, and this one actually rates it on a scale. It looks like maybe a 1 to 5 scale. You think? I don't know. It doesn't really tell you, but you can go 3 to, which is very, very interesting. Again, this comes into why. What's your why? What are you trying to get out of owning or running a business? And then some key insights based on his profile, which ties back into the information. His kids are grown. Sounds like there's some legacy possibly there. you know, surviving AI, corporate layoffs. Next steps. Clarify his why. Income replacement versus asset building, right? So it actually starts to go into some analysis into its why. Determine owner-operator versus semi-absentee goals, match based on timeline, how soon he wants to transition out. Okay, again, all great points. So this really seems to me like, and then it asks for some additional, you can add some additional stuff to it. So this looks like ChatGPT gave, to me, a more comprehensive answer than Gemini. Mm-hmm. What do you think on these, Stacy? What do you think about these? Let's just start with, we plopped this in here, didn't know what we'd get back. We really didn't know what to expect. Based on the information, and we don't need to compare and contrast the two of them so much, but looking at these results, if you were a candidate, do you think they'd be in any position to choose a franchise based on this information?
I would hope not.
Okay, that's a short answer. And you want to elaborate on that?
I would hope not, because AI doesn't know enough about you. It might be a helpful tool in researching and learning and educating yourself. We find that many of the candidates who come to us today are much more educated. We're working with a candidate now who quite candidly had gone to one of these AI tools. She shared her list. She's like, well, here's what it said. So which of these should I go with? And it was like, well, let's just crumple that up digitally and hit the reset button, because AI itself is not going to be able to help you find the perfect franchise match. There's nothing like human interaction, having a discussion, really understanding your why, and matching you to what might be the perfect franchise. There's also a big missing piece of this, which is territory availability.
I was going to go there. Yeah,
okay, you take that one.
Yeah. So one of the things that's been a common theme, with the candidates recently that have, gone through a journey of AI and come to us already somewhat educated, I'll say, although I'm not sure it was properly educated, is that they're frustrated by it. They go through and maybe they like the answers they're getting. The answers are always positive. You don't see anything negative in these answers. Like, are you crazy to want to start a franchise with $35,000 liquidity? I mean, those types of things. It really doesn't seem to have any knowledge about the actual emotions of that person. But the frustration is they go through all this and they, first off, start filling out forms online, and their inbox starts exploding with spam from 60,000 people that aren't even the franchise themselves in a lot of cases. But number two, they get to the franchise and find out that the territories they're looking for aren't even available. And I don't know how AI would ever do that. Maybe it will someday, maybe it won't, who knows. But as of now, those territories change so quickly, the availability on them, that it would require some extensive programming for it to know all of the different 4,000 plus franchises that are out there and which territories exist and don't exist and are available. And a lot of times these people will get to a franchise and when you're looking at franchises, you're applying. You're not automatically going to get that franchise just because you like it. You like Dogtopia. Doesn't mean that when you go to Dogtopia and talk to them that they think you're a good fit for their franchise, even though they've been through some of this pre-vetting. They're financially qualified, but they don't really like dogs that much, and things like that. Or, they are very entrepreneurial and they're not looking for people that are, entrepreneurial. They're looking for people that can follow a system, that will stick within the system that they presented. So there's so many factors that go into choosing a proper franchise for a candidate. I feel like this is a good surface level, like it scratched the surface level a bit, maybe helped educate them a little bit, but it really doesn't do anything close to what we would do to help somebody find the right franchise for themselves.
Yeah. I think it was just kind of pulling from what you put in there. Oh, he has dogs, so let's do a dog franchise. Oh, he likes to play golf, so let's do a golf franchise. And that's not the way that we do our matchmaking, which we do not use AI to help in our matchmaking process. And AI, in this case, is putting out fake news, wrong information.
Wow.
Because Dogtopia, I can tell you for a fact, you are not getting in there with $35,000 cash. I just did a territory check for a candidate, and they got back to me that they require a minimum of $600,000 liquid cash.
Wow.
Because that is a $1.5 and up $1 million investment to open a dog.
Right, it says higher than $450K.
Right,
you know,
it
so.
is way right, and so therefore, $35,000 they won't even talk to you.
Right, and so you're going to go through the trouble, reach out to Dogtopia. Maybe they call you back, maybe they don't. They're getting bombarded by invalid candidates all the time, so they got to sort through all that. We help vet that. We help sort through all that for you so that when we hand you off to a franchise, it's a friendly handoff. They know we've already put you through a very rigorous process to help make sure that you check their boxes before we even let you talk to them, and then we get you a front of the line pass, which certainly AI is not going to help you do. Mm-hmm. So AI is a good tool. I mean, it's one of those things where I can't knock it. I mean, I thought it was very interesting in this one here on the ChatGPT one that it gave exit equity. That's something that, a lot of people looking at franchises really don't think about. They think about, every business is very sellable and exitable, and that is just not true. Mm-hmm. It really depends on the business, the strength of the brand, the industry it's in, and the timing of things. I mean, you want to go out right now, and if you were one of the lucky people that bought a yogurt shop a few years ago and sell your yogurt shop, that exit equity probably went down to a 1 from a 3, mm-hmm. right? And those are things that you would only know by being around it in the industry all the time. So this was a fun exercise, though. I mean, AI is out there, and we know that, our candidates are probably going to use it before they talk to us. What we hope is they do use it before they talk to us to get a little bit educated and familiar with franchises, but don't use it to pick a franchise. Mm-hmm. Give us a call, talk to us first. Let us help you really dig deep into what is your why, and make sure that you are financially in a position to acquire and own a franchise that's proper and right for you. As Stacy said, Dogtopia could be way above somebody's means, even though ChatGPT told you it's one of their recommendations. Mm-hmm. So let's close this out. It was definitely a fun exercise. Anything else you want to add about AI before we close this out?
I think you've succinctly summarized it. It's a great tool to help you learn and educate. I would not use it as my end-all be-all to make a determination of which franchise might be best for you.
Ditto. I can't say it better than that. So thank you so much. If you like our content, as always, please click the buttons, like and subscribe. It really helps us out in the Google algorithm. Reach out to us, please. If you are in this stage where you're just frustrated by your franchise search and feel like you're really not getting anywhere and bombarded by people calling you and you just are stuck, let us help you. Those people who come to us are the ones that benefit from us the most, it seems, that because they've already kind of figured out that it's a tough process to do on their own. Mm-hmm. So
I think what would have been interesting is if you had put in the profile that he loved donuts, if it would have given a donut franchise.
Well, he said he liked dogs.
And we talk about that a lot.
Right. He said he liked dogs and pets. So,
right.
That's
same kind of thing.
Same thing. But anyway, hope you got some enjoyment out of this content. Please like, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next episode of What's Your Next?